Hi Deacon, I'm Alex Cotton. It takes balls to talk, and I just wanted to have a conversation about how Christmas can be a time where we're supposed to be jolly, and what happens if we're not so jolly. Who could we speak to, and what's the benefits about speaking about your mental health?
Yes, as we know, Christmas is the time where we're supposed to be happy and jolly and joyful. For some people, it is a struggle. I myself have been in that position where it has been a struggle. As you know, 4 years ago, I tried to take my own life, and this was down to feeling that at that time I'm lonely, didn't really know how to express my feelings, definitely didn't know how to talk to any individuals, whether that be friends, family, loved ones. And was just in a place of my own, just inside myself. And it all came to a head on holiday, with a family holiday again, where you're supposed to be enjoying life. It's one of the nicest times, but getting some news while I was on holiday, um, which then was my straw that kind of tipped me over the edge. Then I took myself into a place of thought, okay, this is where I am no longer now a burden on individuals around me, the ones closest to me being that individual who's putting more pressure onto them, couldn't get anything right. And yeah, I took myself into a position where I tried to take my own life. Part of the way through, had already committed to what was happening. A lady out of nowhere came and shouted something. I'd never be able to tell you what it was she was shouting. Instantly took me away from what I was in the process of doing right there, right then. Was focused on this lady who had taken an interest in me and wanting to know what was happening, or seemed to want to know what was happening. But she was from somewhere and didn't speak a word of English. Over the next 3 hours of the evening, we walked around Tenerife. She spoke in whatever language it was, sorry, and I just listened with my head down, nothing at all that I understood, but it was another individual who took an interest in me, and she must have just been telling her own story, but recognised that this individual took time out of their day to then spend it with me in a time where I needed somebody else, and didn't ever think that it would come from a stranger,
Okay.
and a stranger being
Yeah.
from another country.
Yeah. Who couldn't speak English?
Exactly.
But you sat there and listened,
Yeah.
and just kind of that connection. And I think it's about, it can be a stranger, and I think that we've done it kind of on railway stations, that small talk saves lives.
Absolutely.
And I think that shouting out, seeing anyone who is clearly in a stressful or kind of life-threatening condition, just to break that cycle that someone does care, is so important. And I think that it's life-saving, but it can also, it's not that technical what she did.
No, not
It
at all.
wasn't technical, and I think we all know how to make someone feel that we care or show an interest. It's that ability to show that there is someone who is out there who does care for you. You spoke about, and what many people speak about, is that feeling of being a burden and not good enough. What would you say to someone who may be experiencing that over this Christmas time? Who would you advise that they kind of speak to? Would it be we've all got different friends. We've got friends that we just have a laugh with. We've got friends that are kind of our go-to confidants. But some people haven't got that go-to confidence. And I'm thinking that we would wish that those people contact, organisations, go to our website if you're Coventry and Warwickshire, but national kind of organisations are there to just listen. And I think the power of listening is reducing the stigma and how we can overcome those thoughts and feelings when you're in that place. What would you advise someone who feels that maybe over this Christmas period?
For me, talking's the best thing. Talking or writing things down.
Okay.
For me, I carry around a mind journal where if I ever have a thought or a feeling, I'll write it down just so it's out there,
Okay.
to put it into context, just so it's not in my own head and I'm thinking about it over and over. So writing things down is the easiest thing to do. Everyone's got access to paper and a pen. And the next bit is anyone really. Samaritans, as you say, ourselves, we have amazing services within CWPT and in the local area, but then going into it in even more local areas. I've recently moved into a village who have their own, recently opened up a coffee shop and have now like conversation evenings and mornings around just a coffee and a chat, and yeah, just little groups that you can get involved in, and family is always going to be good if you have access to family, friends as well. If there's anyone around that you can talk to, local authorities, we have, again, so many different support networks in our local area. There's always something for somebody, so to never feel like you're a burden on anyone, and to never feel alone, because there's definitely something to help somebody.
I'm interested in what you said about writing things down, because when you write them down, where do they go? Do they go anywhere else? How does that work? Because I'm 105, I wouldn't write anything on notes on my phone. I can't, but I've got pen and paper. And I think, is it that worry is it a worry? Is it a concern? Is it a negative thought?
It could be anything. Any
Give
thought.
Give me an example.
Any thought, any worry. For me, I've recently met the love of my life. And it was a worry at the start, because same as every relationship, you worry about how the other person's gonna see and feel. And I remember writing something about myself not being good enough, and 4 years ago I didn't really expect to see myself here as the long term, and now I'm here. It was writing down like, be present, I'm here for the long run, and I've got that down. I'll look at it every now and then and just think, yeah, carry on working towards that goal of be here in a year's time, be here in 5 years' time.
Thinking about what helps me get over that first 10 minutes, if that thought comes into my head that I'm not good enough and I'm a burden, what is it I can do to distract myself for 10 minutes? What is it I can do in the next hour? What is it I can do in the next day? Who can I speak to? Identifying people as listening mates. So if you think of, if I did ever feel like that, I'd go to Simon. And if you let Simon know that he's your listening mate, he's more likely to pick up the phone, and we're more likely to have a conversation. So I think that if we can kind of plan for the inevitable, but be prepared as much as we do physical health, I think that we will have a long way of reducing suicide in our society by being more listening, more caring, more compassionate, talking about our feelings, because I think that if once one friend opens up, everyone who then speaks out then gets other people talking to them because they've spoken out. And I think it's something that in 2023 we want this Christmas message to be: the best present you can get is to be present. And to keep you being present, we need to plan about if and when people do become down. What is it? Where is it? And who is it you would contact if you ever felt that way?
Just being there to talk would be my first thing. If you recognise somebody is in that situation where they're really struggling, recognising it, asking simply, are you okay? Is there anything I can do? Do you need a shoulder? I've recognised quite quickly that men don't tend to talk face to face, it's normally shoulder to shoulder. So if you can get down and a little bit more understanding into things that they enjoy.
So that could be a walk, driving.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sports. Walking for me is a very good way of getting me to communicate, because it is that shoulder to shoulder chat where you've not really got a purpose, you are just walking to talk.
And I think that we could even adopt the see it, say it, sort it kind of slogan, couldn't we? If we see it in ourselves, or if we see it in other people, say it, and let's sort it. Let's sort it by contacting people, talking out, and being caring and compassionate to ourselves as well. Because I think working in mental health, sometimes we neglect our own mental health. And I would be kind of, really pleased that we are an organisation that encourages people to share how they feel. So thank you for today. It's been amazeballs. Thank you.
No problem.